1 week ago, 11-year-old Claire Howard embarked on a course of treatment that will change her life. She has achondroplastic dwarfism, which means that, like her mother Sue, without treatment she would only ever be 4'4". But now she's had a major operation to lengthen her legs. Metal rods known as fixators have been attached and her bones have been surgically broken. If all goes well, over the next 3 years, Claire will gain an extra 8 inches in height.
She sees me stretching and reaching for things and things I can't do and struggling all the time. And that is the way life is. And I thought she'd accept it. But she didn't. She doesn't want to do all that, what I've done. She's not the same as me.
I woke up and felt strange in my legs. And I woke up and it was a bit shocking. I was dead pleased. When I get used to it, I was pleased with it.
Are you pleased with it now?
Yeah. I'd have had it done. Mum said she would have had it done if it was round, but the operation wasn't round. And you can imagine how big my mum was compared to what she is now if she had the operation done.
Now that the rods are firmly in place, the actual lengthening process can begin.
At the moment, she's got the 3 sets of 2 pins, which Mr. Sarley put in last time. So they've not moved at all. And then we've got 2 breaks in Claire's tibia, just here.
In the bone?
Yeah, in the bone. And it's those breaks that we're going to make bigger by lengthening the device on the outside. And then in time, once we've got the length out that we want to get on those breaks, which will be about 5 centimetres or so in each of those breaks, we'll stop the turns and we'll wait for the new bone to harden off in the middle. And that's where all Claire's length will come from. But obviously we have to go slowly because everything's got to stretch as well. Okay? So it'll be 1 millimetre at the top each day and 3/4 of a millimetre on the bottom. That's just so we're not stretching things too much. Have you got your spanner there that I brought earlier? And we've got your turning book here that we can tick off when you've done your turns.
What's going to happen? We're going to turn the key anti-clockwise. So.
And you push. Now, this one, to do the opposite way round, haven't we? Brilliant. That's it. Yeah. Brilliant. That's it.
Yeah. When you turn the key, you can't feel anything. Because with the bone being broken, you can't feel anything.
We're just waiting for our bones to grow now. Bones grow faster than other bones. Even one leg might grow faster than the other leg. The things that could go wrong, it's just not worth thinking about.
Right, do you know where to go? Right, well, it's down to the left.
Claire will have to spend the next year in a wheelchair. She'll need regular physiotherapy to make sure that her muscles stretch at the same rate as her legs grow.
These are the exercises that when you go home, Claire, you've got to do every day with Mum. As well as that, you will go once a week to physio and they might alter the exercise a wee bit, but if you start off, these are the ones that you need to do every day. Because you've got from now to Friday to polish it all up ready for going home.
Without regular exercise, Claire's muscles will seize up and she could be crippled for life.
Ready? Cool. 2. She doesn't need a physio. 3, 4. We'll do 10. 5, 6. Keep smiling. Smiling. 9. Big one. 10. What about this one?
Hello. Thanks very much.
Meanwhile, one of Professor Stuart Tanner's patients has been sent to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge for a liver transplant.
Well, thanks very much. OK, how's our star?
As anticipated, we're in worrying, but not crisis phase.
9-month-old Emerson Clare had a progressive liver disease and a transplant was her one hope. Even then, she only had a 50% chance of survival.
So Emma was transplanted yesterday. Duration in theatre was 11.5 hours. All had gone well till about 3 o'clock when the liver was then perfused and a lobectomy was done.
And a lot of the delay presumably was due to the fact that they planned to put the whole liver in and then they had to cut down later.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's why I think
that's right. Yeah. And she's been relatively stable overnight.
OK, so the plan for today really is probably just to wait and see how particularly the liver functions going?
Well, she's quite fairly tense. How are Mum and Dad doing?
They're all right. We've been keeping them up to date. Needless to say, it's been quite an experience for them, but they seem to be taking it in quite well.
Put her on a drug that temporarily paralyses her. She can't blink, so if she gets anything in her eyes, she won't be able to blink it out, so it just protects them a little bit. It's just a little bit of jelly. It's something we'll show you how to do today if you like. So you'll be able to clean her eyes and put clean jelly pearl in.
Because I've noticed the lips, like yesterday they weren't hardly any colour whatsoever, and today she's like started to go pink again. I know they said that she was trying to breathe a lot herself rather than ventilator doing it, which was a good sign. So they like, just can't wait to see her eyes open or her fingers move or something like that.
Pretty good news so far. As of now, we're pretty pleased with her, and seeing that nice smile coming makes me even more pleased. Oh, brilliant. Good. There's a very good thing about liver transplantation as compared with other transplants and so on, is that if you do well for a year, the curve of survival really flattens off. So really we don't anticipate a lot of very late complications, but there's one that we particularly fear called chronic rejection, which we simply don't understand. I mean, just you and your liver don't get together well. So we're anxious for the first year, but most major complications turn up quite early in the sense of the first month. And this was an exceptionally difficult case to take on, really.
Are you alright? Yeah. Want me to show you where your bed is then?
Yeah, right round this way.
Up on Ward 6, Oliver Upton is a regular visitor. Although he's only 10, he's already had 52 operations for an incurable throat condition.
Here we are. Alright, you can unpack your things and I'll come back in a minute.
He's got what they call papilloma, which are like little feathery warts that grow on his voice box. And Mr. Bull lasers them off every time he goes to theatre. But of course they just keep growing back because he can't laser them all away because it would like burn his vocal cords away. So he just like takes as much off as he can every time he goes to theatre.
What happens to your voice when the warts grow?
I can't always speak. He whispers, don't you? Yeah. You can tell with his breathing. He's short of breath, he's coughing, and he coughs sometimes until he's choking. I can usually tell with his voice if it's the papillomas.
He first came to me when he was 6 months old with a history that he lost his voice, really. From the age of about 3 months, he had no voice. And I suspected then that he might have papillomas. We've got some pictures from previous operations. You could almost not see an airway, and you certainly couldn't see the vocal cords at all. Here's all the papillomas, and that little black butterfly in the middle is the airway that he had to breathe through. Now, you can see that it doesn't take very much more papilloma than that to block his airway off completely. You can asphyxiate from them if they're not treated. You can be unable to breathe.
You know, the doctor I spoke about is going to come and have a look at you.
Meanwhile, things have not been going according to plan for Claire. Although her legs have begun to grow, her muscles are not stretching at the same rate.
What a face, I haven't started yet. Can I take this out of the way?
The last few weeks, Claire's knees been bending dramatically. We even changed from physio twice a week to 3 or 4 times a week. I was taking her there and she was really working hard, and the pain, and I think with the pain she wanted it totally to finish, it totally stopped. She was starting to sort of say, well, oh, this is not worth it for a few inches.
Really push down. Go on, really push that down. Push down into the bit. That's better. You've got to be careful not just push the foot. Hold it, count to 10. 1, 2, 3. Push hard again. 5, 6, 7. Push again, push down. 10. I know, that's right. Well done. Can I check this other knee now? Right. Oh, come on, let's go onto your tummy. The sooner we do it, the sooner it's over, and I'll leave you all in peace. Right. Do you want to do it all on your own with nobody watching? Right, okay, don't with nobody watching, then over we go.
With this particular technique, we've had a problem in that she seems to, when we break the bone and stretch it, it heals. It recognises a fracture and it heals like a fracture. And in most cases, we can adjust the lengthening rate so it never quite heals. In Claire's case, she seems to be healing so incredibly rapidly. And this is very, very unusual. Broken the bones in 2 places in each leg, where we usually expect bone to heal very, very slowly. Claire's healing up almost quicker than we can lengthen. And so what we've had to do is increase the rate of lengthening. And that's compounded by the fact that we're increasing the rate at 2 sides on each leg. And so she's getting pain from muscles which are tightening up. She must know that we're seeing something unusual, so she's a little bit worried. And on top of that, she's got this background of continuous discomfort, which she has to put up with.
I wish I had it done, you know, because I've realised my knees are so bent and my bones going too fast and it's painful. And I didn't know it was going to be this painful, actually. I really didn't. Can't cope with anymore. It's quite difficult to sleep at night time as well to get comfortable. It takes quite a while to get comfortable as well.
Right then, let's put your cream on. Look the other way.
Don't like this smell.
Back on Ward 6, Oliver is being prepared for yet another operation. It's a familiar routine, right down to the cream used to numb his hands in readiness for the anaesthetist's needle.
There you go. And the other hand then as well.
You have to hold your nose with that, haven't you?
Don't sneeze.
I can't say it gets any better. Every time he comes in, he still gets worked up, nervous. It's not as bad now as what it were when he was a baby. Now he's getting older, he knows what's coming and still frightened of the theatre, the anaesthetic, he can't stand the smell. He still get upset when he gets upset, but we just have to get on with it.
Nine weeks after her liver transplant operation, baby Emma's condition has improved sufficiently for her to be brought back to Sheffield. It's been a grueling 3-hour journey. In the weeks following her transplant, Emma had to undergo another 16 emergency operations for complications. She also survived a period when doctors feared she would reject the new liver. But Emma has made an extraordinary recovery, and her new liver is now working well. However, it's still very enlarged and putting pressure on her lungs, which means that she can't yet breathe for herself.
I'm just going to do a temperature, make sure she's not got too chilly while she's been travelling. Let's put this under your arm. No! Oh yes, just for a minute. Just for 1 minute. There we are. Good girl.
She looks fine anyway, doesn't she? She's not...
She's got a nice colour. She's nice and warm, actually. 6'1". She's 6'1".
We didn't think we were going to get to this stage, getting her back home.
It just seems so different. I was looking at her in a different way now, because she's a different colour, and now we've got her back at Sheffield. It's unbelievable. It's coming on lovely now.
Ready then?
Yeah.
Can you bring your pillow as well?
Yeah.
We'll get you a blanket, yeah. I'll get you one.
you want me to put him on?
Yeah.
You want to lift me on, Oliver? Just turn around with your back to him.
Everybody knows Osborne's first name. When he goes into theatre, they just shout, "Hello, Oliver," because they know it's Oliver under the blanket. No. Oh.
That's your job, isn't it?
You read in paper about these kids that they've had one operation and they don't come round, and you're thinking like, odds on, he's had that much anaesthetic and this, that and other, is it going to happen to him, or is it his turn, and things like that. So you're whittling all the time. Every time you come you think, there's something going to happen this time, but you don't. No, it happens anyway. Touch wood.
Hi, Oliver.
No blanket.
It's a bit funny because he's been sick.
Oh dear. Hang on. How's your voice? How have you been?
It's got a bit of a cough, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a cough. Do you know what I mean?
How's your voice been?
Okay. No problem.
Oh, poor old Ollie.
I think the best thing is that we get you off to sleep as quickly as we can, and then you don't feel sick anymore, all right? And I'm going to try something today to see if you've not got any aches and pains afterwards, so you can play football tomorrow as well. Is that all right? Yeah. You want to go under the blanket or not? Yeah, OK. You lie down and get yourself comfy. OK. Now, that's how I'm used to seeing Oliver. A little taste under there. You all right? Yeah. Good. Let's have a hand then. Do you have this hand? That one. Right, that one.
Right. I'll change again, please. Oliver, you're confusing me.
Did you feel that?
No, is it in?
It's in now, yes. And now he's paralysed. Now he can't breathe for himself, and we've got to breathe for him. We'll keep him paralysed for the purpose of doing the laser work, so that his vocal cords don't move, and so that the laser can be focused precisely on the warts, the papillomas on his vocal cords.
The problem with Claire's muscles means that today the medical team must rethink her treatment.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the x-rays and see where we are at the moment in terms of length. And lengthening beautifully well. Now, it was the right one there were problems with at the end of last week.
Yeah, and it's the one that
Right
she's complaining of more pain in that right leg.
Well, I think we're now clear there. It looks as if we've opened up a growth zone again. So it looks as if we could carry on lengthening. And what we have to decide between us today is whether to carry on lengthening at all.
Yeah.
I think the decision is going to be
yesterday
based
we obviously had a long
mainly
chat
on tissues.
with Claire and with Mum, and we talked about lots of different options. One was to stop altogether. But I wonder if we couldn't get our pain controlled and with support, you know, as an inpatient here, if we helped her through this period, we could get, you know, a bit more length. I think another valid comment was, well, I suppose I just have to accept that I'm meant to be small.
Well, she knows because of Mum, so...
Yes.
Which is quite sad, really.
It is rather sad.
This past fortnight, I would say, she's got no motivation. She's got nothing back from all this. It's just all been bad, bad, bad. She's been really slowed down in eating. We had to get a dietitian in on Friday. They were worried about her over the weekend. And it's not worth it if it's going to make her ill.
It's obviously been very hard.
Mentally, she's really bad.
Yeah.
The things that we've been talking about is that she's a phase that she's going through. She really, really wants to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's a very deep person. It's very hard to find out.
Yeah.
For me.
I don't know whether you know, but we've just had a discussion outside. Claire's been on my mind a little bit, so we've thought things out, and we'll try and help you through it, you know, to make the right decision for Claire.
Good. I know you will.
And if I come round here. Okay. Can I test your legs, Claire, very gently?
Just take that away.
So, toes. Those toes are all right. These toes are tight, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you're obviously not finding it very comfortable to straighten your legs now, are you? Okay, that's lovely. So what we need to do now is talk about the ways we can get over it, all right? And you're very important in this discussion because you're going to make the decision. One thing we can do is stop lengthening. And if we stop lengthening, you're going to be 6 centimetres taller, which is it's a lot, okay? The only thing that worries me about stopping lengthening is now that we'll all feel kind of a bit cheated and defeated. So, what I'm going to suggest is that we stop lengthening here and here. We'll suddenly cut down to less than half the rate of lengthening. And you won't feel it immediately, but over the next few days you'll start to feel much, much better.
So it's just the bottom ones we're doing?
And then I think your knees will get better. So do you want to talk it over with Mum a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to come and see me in the clinic later? Okay. You think about it a little bit and we'll have a chat later on. There are no hard and fast rules. She can stop lengthening now and she'll have gained 2.5 inches in height and that's very respectable. But the question is it really the right thing?
We've put the laryngoscope in so that we can look at his cords, and then we're setting the microscope up so that we can see with magnification what we're doing. So we could turn the telly on, please.
It's only once Mr. Bull can look at Oliver's throat through the microscope that he can tell how extensively the papillomas have grown this time.
Well, you can see on the screen that there's the pointer from the laser, and the cords are here. But there's a little bit of papilloma here, above the cords, that I'll treat in a moment. But it looks as if the cords themselves, which are here and here, are really very clear. So that's absolutely super. This is our little jet that we attach to the laryngoscope, and then we attach the anaesthetist to this, and he can blow oxygen down this to keep him pink.
In order to keep Oliver breathing while the laser is being used, the surgeon and the anaesthetist must work closely together.
When I'm not lasering, Ian's blowing oxygen down that little jet that I attached. So he's not actually breathing, he is being breathed for. What I'm doing now, you look puffy in a minute. What I'm going to do now is I've got the laser beam aimed at that little papilloma. Yeah. And I'm going to vaporise that, get rid of it. Stop. Lovely. He's very much better than he used to be.
It's time for Claire to decide whether to give up on the lengthening process. If she stops now, she will never reach her goal of being 5 foot tall. But if she carries on, even at a slower pace, there is no guarantee that the pain will go away.
Go on then, you do all the talking this time.
I want the top ones to stop and the bottom ones to keep going.
Okay,
See how
I'm
it goes
glad.
that way.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. You'll be happy with that. I think that if we stop the top from today, that you'll feel better within a couple of days. Okay. So, Jonathan, will you lock off the top fixators, top distractors?
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go.
And are we still going to lengthen it 3 times a day on the bottom?
Yes, on both sides. I actually would hope that within a week or so, it'll be all changed, and even though you're lengthening, it won't be anything like as bad as it's been.
No.
And for what it's worth, I think you made a very brave, very sensible decision there. Okay.
Hello. You all right? Yes, thank you. How are you?
Champion.
Oh, Ollie. Feeling a bit sick still? There's just a little bit on the right cord. As much as it was at Christmas time, really.
Yeah.
Little bit on the right cord. Little tiny bit just above the cords, but for the most part, it's good. So home tomorrow, then? Hmm? His voice has been quite good, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's been ever so good.
Good. Okay, see you in the morning, all.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the best. Okay, bye-bye.
See you again. Yeah, son. That's for your next operation. 4 months we've got to wait. 4 months. Can't you do it, son? I mean, usually like 2 to 3 months. Gets a bit much, but I mean, one time we're going every 4 weeks, so it's a hell of a lot better than that, isn't it? Yeah, 14th of October. 14th of October, Oliver. October. It's nearly Christmas, isn't it? So you'll not be able to come, you know.
Although there is no cure for the virus that causes Oliver's papillomas, there is hope that one day he will simply grow out of it.
If you feel sick, use that, son.
You just need to put the locking nut in there. Tighten up there.
How should I get
Go
on
you
board?
take that.
Does it matter which way you turn it?
Well, yeah. You have to sort of take
Get
a
it
few
out.
turns out to make it looser to come out.
That's it.
That's it, right, so you won't get confused now, will you?
It looks weird without them.
Right, yeah. That's locked off, that's locked off.
Oh, but
So the only pins that are moving are these at the bottom.
is this moving?
She's gone through the worst. I mean, she's already got 6 centimetres on her legs. So the last bit, it'd be a shame just to stop everything now, just for the last bit. So you have to give her moral support and just tell her, you know, the next, few weeks won't be the same as one she's got through. Which is not easy to say when she's been through a lot.
3 weeks later, Claire stopped the first stage of leg lengthening. She gained just over 3 inches in height. She's still having physiotherapy to straighten her knees.
She's had a long 12 months, but we finally got there. She's one today.
1 year
And she's 1 year old, and it's unbelievable.
So I'm really glad that she's got to her first birthday. Can't wait now for the second one.
First party, isn't it? Hey?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emma. Happy birthday to you.
No, Emma's got to try. Ready? 1, 2, 3, blow.
Hooray!